3. Live.
Hi everyone, this is Maureen Kamari of Amari Baking Center and we're live. Hello, what's happening?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday everyone, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, right? We're so excited to be here. It's nice and bright today. There's no rain, thank God. So yes, thank you very much. As you come in, likes, loves, say hi. What's your name? Where are you at? What are you doing right now? Please do share. We like when you hang out with us and share what you're doing. Okay? So before we start, today I will be leveling and torting a cake. So that's one of the topics that I had asked people to share. What do they want to know? And somebody had said they want leveling, how to level cakes. So this time I'll do leveling. Maybe next week I'll do stacking. Okay? So how to level and tort a cake. Torting is when you cut it in between, put stuff in there, and then you assemble. So I will be doing that with buttercream. All right. I just want to let people know before I get started, we're having awesome classes coming up in April. We are going to Nyeri. So if you're from Nyeri and you're watching us, please sign up. We'll put that link on this live after we repost. We're doing a 7-day class, but you can come for 2 days, 4 days, 6 days, 7 days, and we're so happy. We'll be having Evelyn Gishuki of Purple Sugar Craft, who does amazing flowers and figurines. So you have to join that class. The other class we're having in Nairobi, April 10th and 11th. Wedding cake and stacking class. 2 days where you actually decorate your own cake, learn how to stack it, decorate it with fondant, do a beautiful design, and you go home with your own cake. Okay? I'll also be sharing like templates, how to do quotations, costing, pricing, how to have a menu for your wedding cake. So yeah, if you want to join me, I'll be sharing that link and you can just sign up for the class. It'll be 6,500. Anyone joining us, Ellie?
Marian Mahine.
Hi Mariam, as usual. Hello, how are you doing? Thank you for joining me for this little class of ours. Thank you very much.
Flavor Bakers can also is present.
Veronica, present as usual. These are the most awesome students ever. You're always present. Thank you so much. I appreciate your company as always.
Gifted Hands Bake.
Oh, Faith, hi.
And Millie Ngozi Miano.
Hi Millie, thank you for joining me. I'm so happy to see you guys here. Thank you in this lovely sunny day. Aren't we happy for a little bit of sun? I'm not complaining about the rain, but I like the sun too. Okay, so anyway, I'll be sharing links for those classes coming up. For those who are joining me today, by the way, exciting, for all those who it will benefit, and if it doesn't benefit you, you can gift somebody else. I will be giving away one prize. I'll be giving away one access to our basic online class for anyone who wins today's little quiz that I'll be sharing. Okay, so it's about how to make a vanilla cake, how to make a sponge cake, and how to decorate with buttercream frosting. So if you can't make for a class, but you can be able to go online, watch videos, we have an online class. Okay, basic beginner cake making and decoration. So I'll be giving that away. Yes. Okay, so
Diana Ndola says hi.
Diana, hi.
Namesake Cabs, hi, watching.
That's yes, thank you for watching. I'm so excited. So
and
I'm
Halima
about...
Nguya.
Who?
Halima Nguya.
Hi Halima, thank you for joining us again. Thank you guys for coming, showing some love. Do some likes, do some love. I want to see those love bubbles over there. Are we seeing love bubbles,
yeah,
Ellie? Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so today I will be leveling and torting a cake. So I'll be giving you tips on how to level nicely and also how to tort in a nice way so you get a nice pretty cake. Okay, so what I have here is just a plain vanilla cake, and I also have buttercream frosting, both of which I will be sharing the recipe so that you know what to do, and then I can get started. So maybe Ellie can just like zoom in. We have the cake here. Make sure you have a turntable. It helps, but that's okay if you just have a stand or like some kind of chopping board, that's okay. Then you'll be needing a spatula. I like using both of these. Offset spatula. It has a little bevel at the end. And then I'll be using this long one. I think this is 7 inches spatula. Then I have some purple buttercream right there, right here. So we'll be using that. I'll be sharing the recipe for the buttercream frosting, right? And we need a bread knife so we can be able to actually level our cake. All right, so I'm going to get started. So if I really want to level the cake really nicely and I want it to be straight, the first thing as you're leveling, right, because most of our cakes get this peak like sort of a little mountain, and when we decorate our cake we want it to be flat. So I make sure that my knife is straight like this. I decide I'm going to cut from here and I just enter a little bit. Now when it helps when you have a turntable, because I'll just go spinning the turntable, okay, as I just hold my knife straight. All right, and these leftovers are awesome because you can always eat them later. So I can do that one more time just to make sure I'm leveled. I just run my knife this time when it's straight, and what will happen, you'll see where it's not leveled, it'll take off the excess like this. All right, so watch your fingers, don't cut yourself. All right, so once again I just run it again to make sure anything above that has been captured. And there we go, nice leveled cake. I always turn it around just to make sure. So nice and level. Okay, there we go. That's all I need. Now this is a little messy, so I'll move this into another board. But before I do that, I also want to torte. That means I'm going to cut this cake into half. Okay, so when we're doing that, what we need, actually, I always make sure I have some toothpicks. And the reason why I have toothpicks is so when I cut my cake, maybe I might not cut it 100% even. So then when I remove it, I need to put it back. I need to know exactly where I cut, so I put it back nicely. Okay, and the trick that you learn with this is if you have two toothpicks, you can place them on one area. Like now I'll choose to place here, above here, and then I make sure it's literally under the next one, like that. So that even if I move any part of the cake, I come back. I just need to make sure they're aligned like this. Okay, so now since I'm cutting the middle, I'll choose a middle like this. If you want to be really accurate, you can just measure the cake. If it's 4 inches, cut where the 2 inches is. But I'm not that accurate right now. So once again, I take it round. All right, I'm careful at the end so I don't burn my cut myself. So now you see that we have two pieces like this in the middle. So if I'm going to do whatever I'm doing, when I come back, I just need to make sure they are aligned like this, and my cake will be fine, just like that. All right, so that's the trick for making sure your cakes are aligned even after you torte them. Okay, now I just need to start decorating this cake. So I'm gonna set this aside here because I'm going to be decorating on this one. All right, so when I'm decorating, I take a little bit of buttercream and I place it, you know, a little bit just to hold your cake. Okay, this is another trick to learn. You want your cake to stay in place, so you want to apply a little buttercream. Whatever icing you're going to be using, that's what you want to apply down here. But if your cake is going to be traveling for maybe a very far place, my advice would be to put a little bit of glucose syrup at the bottom. Okay, so now this cake, the top of this cake, I'm going to overturn it onto there. So try and make sure it's in the middle nicely like this. Okay, so we've torted our cake. Torting is cutting in the middle and applying some icing. So I'm just gonna spread this around so that when somebody cuts their cake, in between in there is going to be a nice, and we're gonna cut this cake, by the way, and see how it looks like. So anyone joining us, say hi.
Masi Okot says hello.
Hi Masi, thank you for joining.
Monaisha Omar says hello, Amari.
Hi Monaisha.
Valentine Isaac says hi.
Hi Valentine.
Judy Jerry and Judy Waidera.
Judy, both Judys, hi, thank you for joining me. Karibu sana. Okay, so if you want, at this point, you can leave it this way. You can put more. You can put stuff in there like chocolate or fruits or whatever. But today I'm just going to keep it simple, okay? So now I want to bring back my cake and make sure it's aligned with that toothpick. So I take the cake that I cut and I make sure I can get it aligned as possible. So sometimes you do have to fiddle with it a little bit to make sure that it's aligned nicely. Okay, so mine is very aligned, as you can see. And what helps me, by the way, my pan leaves a little thing there, so I'm so lucky. All I have to do is align that little thing. Okay, but make sure also your toothpicks are aligned. Once they're aligned, you remove the toothpicks. Okay, and then we continue with our decoration. So today I'll just be doing a nice thin layer on this cake as I continue. So just pick up some icing like that. Everyone is different. Some people like starting from the bottom, some like starting from the top. I like starting from the top, so I'm gonna get started. Okay, so always a nice trick to know, have some hot water so you can dip your spatula. You're able to smoothen nicely. It's not a must, but it really comes in handy when you're smoothing your buttercream for a nice smooth finish. Okay, so I'm just going to spread and so just paddle back and forth to spread the icing first, just to make sure you spread it everywhere. Okay, then always come back and wipe off excess. Now you can do it different ways. The top, you can always smoothen by turning your turntable, and I always tend to just put it back in here. Don't worry, we'll come and finish off the rest. Okay, now I'm gonna switch from my tiny little spatula and start using my large spatula. So just to show you how large spatula is helpful, if you start smoothing from the edge, tilt your spatula a little bit and then just kind of smoothen, so it gets most of the stuff that you need to get. So I'll stop there because I know I'm going to come back with borders and decorate, and I'm going to continue. So I'm going to remove this spatula out of here. Anyone else joining us? Any comments? No? We're good? Okay.
Margaret Minor from Samburu.
Hi, Margaret Minor. You're always joining us. Hi from Samburu. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. We always appreciate it, by the way. Alright, so now you just apply. First, you just apply icing just to apply. Then we'll come back later and smoothen. Okay, I'm gonna apply everywhere, paddling motion, going back and forth, or just, you know, applying the way you want, but at the same time making sure. The reason why we use this paddling technique is so that we don't get too many crumbs around. Okay, I don't want so many crumbs going around, especially if I know I'm not going to be doing a crumb coat like now. I generally I'm careful.
Wow, Rhoda Rian joining us from Tanzania.
Wow, Rhoda from Tanzania. We're so happy to have you. Thank you. So excited. East Africa up in here. Alright, so now I'm going to smoothen. Okay, let me add a little bit here. So just generally hold your spatula upright parallel, tilt a little bit, and just go getting all that excess. I do it like twice, so I do half, dip, wipe, and do another half. Alright, I hope you guys can see this. Okay, so if you look, for the most part, it's quite smooth. Okay, so I'm trying to now go just for a finish. I'll fill anywhere else I see there's no icing, where the cake is showing, or somewhere like there where there's a little hole. I come back and I smoothen one more time. Okay, so here we go. We'll do it twice again. And there, and I keep leaving this here. Okay, once again, anybody who's loving this, make sure you show us some likes, some loves, hit those buttons.
RuPaul.
Hi, RuPaul.
Ruthwell.
Hi, Ruth. Thank you for joining us. I wondered where you are, RuPaul. Okay, so I'm just gonna smoothen. The perfectionist in me is going nuts. Okay, we're gonna smoothen a little bit more, but we're not gonna go too much. Alright, so for the most part, my buttercream cake is smooth. If you want to get perfection, just keep smoothening. All right, let me see. Okay, if you have a spot that you want to cover, like maybe right here, I have some cake showing. Pick up some at the tip and apply there. Then smoothen it. Again, let's see. Like so. Yeah, so we got that. Don't worry about down there. We'll fix it. Okay. So now I'm going to come back on top and try and see what I can do about these edges of mine, okay? So there's different ways you can remove this excess. One way is by just sort of shaving this top off, okay? If you're not really proficient yet, if you're still sort of beginning in the decoration, you want to do that. But sometimes what works is if you take your spatula and you scrape inside like that, it gives you a really nice edge, okay? So sometimes if your buttercream is still soft, it hasn't set, you just kind of go removing that excess that way, and then we'll come in, smoothen the top. Like so. Especially if you're going to be doing a design which you don't have any kind of borders and you're looking for a really nice edge, that happens. Now you might have to smoothen. You see it started setting, so it tends to leave some lines. So once again, you might be forced to come back now again and just kind of smoothen the top. Alright, so I always tell people if you can smoothen most of it, like 90%. If you come for any of our classes, we'll show you how to do that, or just practice at home. All right, so most of it, like I've gotten most of it to be nice and smooth, and that's what I'm looking for. All right, I don't want to continue on too much. Of course, when you're doing buttercream, you know, take your time. We're gonna take some more time trying to smoothen those edges, like I am now. Please feel free. Any comments?
Kind of quiet.
All right, guys, you got kind of quiet. I hope you're just paying attention. All right. Okay, so, all right, I'll try and smoothen one more time. Then we can call it a day on this smoothing. So buttercream can tend to be repetitive when you're trying to get a really nice smooth kind of edge. And then another tip I'd tell you is just put 2 coats. Put a second coat and another coat. I'm gonna stop because now I'm just kind of ruining it as we continue. Okay, stopping there. Right, so we'll take off any excess we have down here, right? And then you always want your work to be so nice and neat. So dip your cloth in a little bit of water and just kind of go cleaning this out. All right. Feel free to comment on what you think of this tutorial so far.
RuPaul says she's seriously paying attention.
Yay! Explains the quiet. All right then, thanks guys. All right, so I have my buttercream cake. Right, so when you have more time, less than 20 minutes or more than 20 minutes, you can always work on getting those edges really nice and perfect, and you know, just kind of getting it the way you want to look like. All right, so now I'm going to finish off with some rosettes. Okay, so now I'm using Wilton Tip 2D. All right, Wilton Tip 2D. It's like a star, but it's closed and it's written Wilton 2D. So I'm sure we've all heard of the 2D. It does really nice rosettes, and I'm about to do them. Okay, so some rosettes up in here. All right, so just start from the outside and finish inside. Okay, or you can do it the other way, where you can start from the inside going out. It'll give you nicer ones. I hope you're able to see them. So we'll start from the inside, press as you finish off. Okay.
Where can I find buttercream? My biggest problem is decorating. See, Jackie Kimori.
Okay then, buttercream, I'll make sure I leave a link when I repost this video so that I can share a recipe on how to make it. Okay, so all you do is you just need to make your own buttercream. I prefer making my own buttercream. And then once you're able to make it, maybe it depends on how you're making it. Don't make it so stiff that it's not able to spread. Okay, make sure it's like, you know, like a creamy consistency. When you're touching it, it's moving around on your fingers. Then it's going to be able to apply really nicely on your cake and do really nice borders like this. So
Rupal asks, would 1M give the same results?
yes, 1M does actually. Yeah, it's just that this one is a little different because the tines are more defined. But you can use a 1M or 2D, both work. 1M is just open. This one is closed. That's the difference.
Jane Wambui Masharia joining us.
Jane, what's up? Thank you for joining us. All right. So sometimes, just to show you a little bit, your rosette might leave some little space over there. So if you want, you can always just kind of, you know, do little stars like these to just close it up really nice. Okay. All right then. So I'm just gonna put some more over here. Let me see what kind of shape we can do here. All right, I think I'll just still do the rosettes. I hope you can see them. So starting outside, finishing inside. Starting round, finishing inside. So basically that's it. Just make sure they're tilted. This time, instead of doing it on top, you're doing it like at a 45-degree angle, if that makes sense. And just take it round. Be prepared that rosettes really take a lot of icing. So if you're checking that out, I'm going to add a little bit more icing in my bag. Any questions?
Nimsy Cabs asks, is margarine okay to use or butter?
Nimsy, you can use either butter or margarine. Now, butter is the original fat you should really use in buttercream frosting. That's why it's called buttercream. So use butter, like unsalted butter. But if you don't, it's okay. Use margarine. Just know you have to whip it a little bit more because it tends to be a little yellow. But if you have a mixer or you whisk for like 8 minutes to 10 minutes, it actually turns creamy whitish. Okay, so you can use margarine. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so butter or margarine.
Apart from butter, which other margarine can you use? That's Noni Mwangi.
Noni, I hope I've just answered. I think you can use margarine, yes. Personally, when I'm using margarine, I use Prestige. You know, if you want, you can just use any other type you want. But yeah, just get margarine and make sure you really whip it. Okay. So, finishing these little side rosettes off. Make sure you don't have air bubbles like I do. All right, and we're done. Yeah, there's our cake, leveled and torted. Right, there you go. So yeah, any other questions on that? So I use buttercream. I'll be sharing that recipe. I use vanilla cake, and it's kind of torted. Torted means cutting in the middle and then putting something in between the cake. Okay, so before we close, I will make sure to cut this so we can see how it looks like. So maybe we can cut it now. Any questions?
No.
All right, good. So before I cut this cake, how many people want me to cut this cake? And let me get some yeses up in here.
Masiokot says nice. Rupal says wow, lovely.
Thank you, Masi. Thank you, Rupal. Waiting to see yours. I'm always waiting to see somebody share their homework. You know what I mean? Do this, post a picture. Who knows? I might give a prize. You know what I'm saying? So, how many yeses? I'm waiting for those yeses. Waiting for those likes. Waiting for those loves. I know we have a delay, so we'll be waiting. I prepared myself. Okay. I'm hoping those yeses are on the way.
Rupal says yes.
Okay,
Nabila
good.
says yes.
Thank you, yes. Thank you very much. All right, so we're gonna cut this cake so we see how she looks like inside. All right, so you can just use the rosettes as a guide for where you'll cut your cakes. I like them because of that.
One boy says, Jane says, keep a slice for me.
I suppose we will. All right, so I've cut my cake. There we go.
Fatima says it's too good to cut.
I know, right? Fatima, I agree with you. But since I had promised to show how it looks like inside, I promised. So I have to make sure I cut for you guys so you can see what it looks like. Alright, so look at that beautiful slice on the side. So we're able to see how it looks like. See, we're able to see the purple. I don't know if this is a better side to show you. There we go. Right? Really, really, really pretty slice. I'm keeping one slice for Jane, the rest we're having. So look at the inside of the cake, right? And you can torch your cake even twice. Instead of just doing the one time, you can torch twice. It looks so nice, especially when somebody cuts that cake. Yeah, it ends up looking so, so pretty. Yeah, so, you know, I'll be waiting to see those torted cakes and those slices. Okay? Any comments on my cake? Does it not
Everybody
look
says,
good?
I want a piece. Super yummy, love it.
If you're my neighbor, feel free to walk over. If you're not too bad.
Everybody says it looks good.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your time. I hope this is helpful, and I hope you're able to level your cakes. If you have any questions about leveling or torting, feel free to ask now or even later on the comment section. We'll definitely answer them for you guys. Okay? And you can tort any cake, by the way, any cake, sponge cake, these butter cakes like vanilla, chocolate, any cake can be torted, and it makes it so interesting and so much better.
Fatima asks, is this a 1 kg cake?
Yes, actually, this is a 1 kg cake, and what I did to make it look tall was actually bake it in a 5-inch round pan, so it gives it that, that kind of height. It turns out really nicely, and you're able to tort once or twice. So yeah, basically it is a 1 kg, so I'll be sharing that. Okay then, so thank you very much for joining me. Comes the last segment of asking a question, which once again I do not know what question I'm asking. So today's prize, I will be giving away 1 slot, and if you're a really advanced baker, feel free to gift it to somebody who's a beginner. But this is our online basic beginner class. It's online. This is for people who can't be able to come for the class. So what it is videos and then recipes. Okay, so this is accessible to somebody through a desktop, not mobile yet, and all they have to do is sign in, like get an email, an account, and then they sign in anytime. For a lifetime. Anytime they want to come back and check it out, they can check it out. Okay? So the question that I will be asking today, Ellie can help, you know what I'm saying?
But torting.
What about torting can we ask? My goodness. I just explained what torting is. I'm not gonna ask about torting. Oh, I know! I'm gonna ask my usual favorite question to ask. I used a tip today, right? Is that too easy? Alright, what tip? And I want the full name of the exact tip, alright? What is the full name of the tip that I just used? I hope you remember. And then you can win the class. First person to answer. Dun, 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 dun. My usual happy dance as I'm waiting. Check out cake. Have a slice of cake from the screen. Better yet, be inspired to make your own cake and share with us. As you decorate, we'll be so happy.
Faiza says 2D Wilton.
Yes! No, wait, is it 2D?
Judy Jerry says Wilton 2D closed.
Yes, Judy and Jerry, you get that. You know what I'm saying? It is a 2D closed. I'm really feeling bad for them, Faiza. You know what, today I'll be generous. I'll give you both.
Faiza.
So Faiza and Judy Jerry. Judy for being really clear on the closed. Faiza, because you answered, and I know you've not won anything. So yeah, I'm feeling really generous. Woo! Yes! Go Faiza! Woohoo! We're doing the happy dance for you over here. So excited. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so both of you please get on my inbox so I can give you details, so you can let me know if you want the class or you want me to gift someone. Please stick around. We'll repost and put those links for you guys so you can go to this, get the information that you need. Thank you for joining us. See you next week, Friday Live. Cake right here.
TGIF.
TGIF, everyone.